That's one of the big mistakes, I think, is thinking that somebody's going to spot you. You know, it happened in the past and it may well happen 1 in a million still these days. But if you're waiting for that 1 in a million chance, you might as well go and buy a lottery ticket, because you kind of got the same sort of chance of just being plucked from obscurity and put onto a mainstream TV. But there's got to be a way of doing this. So let's look at it. Let's look at the ways to get onto mainstream TV. The first thing I would say, if you are going to pitch yourself as a performer, as a professional to the big channels, make sure that you are confident that you can do the job. Don't go along and spend all this time, and it's a lot of time to get to where you want to be. Generally, there's time, money, and effort to get yourself in front of a producer or a director or a commissioning editor or whatever it is, and then think, oh, I'll wing it when I get there. I've never really presented anything, so I don't, I hope I'll be all right. Yeah, I'm sure I will. I'll blag my way through. That's a bad idea. It's a really bad idea. I would make sure that you are presenting something every week for your YouTube channel. I've spoken about putting up your YouTube channels before. Hopefully you are doing it, or you're in the process of doing it, or you've been doing it for a long time. But you should be presenting. You should be in front of a camera, communicating effectively, looking it back. What am I doing well? What isn't right? Is it engaging? Is it entertaining? Doing it all the time until it's second nature is where you need to be when you get in front of these people, and then you're feeling comfortable with what you're doing because you've got so much experience under your belt. So make sure you can do the job before you get yourself, you spend all this time to get in front of those people. So what I would say is that the most important thing is, when you're approaching big TV channels, is that you're bringing something to the party. There is something that you are bringing to the picnic, to the table. What is it? What is it you're bringing? And don't tell me it's a pretty face and a smile. Otherwise, I'd be all over TV, wouldn't I? Let's be honest. It's not enough. So what is it that you are bringing to the party? It's you have to be creative. You have to, first of all, identify a void, or identify something that is needed. And it doesn't have to be an entire program. It could just be an item for a program, but identify something that is missing. There's no point in pitching to ITV, oh, I've got a great idea for a show. It's just like Place in the Sun. In fact, it's exactly the same, just with different presenters, one of them being me. Not going to happen. Okay, so what is different about your show or your idea or your content? Start writing down your ideas. And I know this is, sometimes it's like, what, with a pen and piece of paper? Yeah, put the phone away. I'm old school. Okay, I had my my COVID jab well before Grant did, to give you an idea of how old school I might actually be. So the thing is, with writing, the actual process of writing it down engages the mind. You're actually formalizing your ideas and thoughts and communicating using words properly. And it's a really great creative process to write down. Just get used to writing your ideas down, formalizing them, putting them down, rather than just making a few quick notes on your iPhone. That's not really what I'm talking about here. Getting all this creative stuff going, the first step is getting used to writing your formats, writing your ideas. Now, you might write ideas. I used to, when I was, and I can say this from experience, guys, because I got my show commissioned on channel 198 on Sky, live TV, and I presented it. So please don't tell me that this doesn't work, because I'm living proof of it. Okay, I've done it. I got it commissioned, I presented the show, and it ran for one season and was never seen again. That's another story, but it does work. Okay, what I used to do is I had my pad by my bed. So put your phone in a different room, charge your phone in a different room, and have a pad, good old pad, and pop that with a pen by your bed. Because I don't know why, but when you're constantly thinking of ideas, being creative, getting your ideas down there, what happens is at 3 o'clock in the morning, you sort of come round and go, oh, that would be a good idea. Or that, or that. I don't know why. It happens when you're constantly thinking of this sort of stuff. It comes to you at 3 in the morning. It's something to do with the sleep. We have 3 hours of really deep sleep, I think, and then there's an hour or so of light sleep, and then deep sleep. I'm not a sleep expert, as you can probably guess, but just in the middle of those 2 3 hour deep sleeps, that's when the little bit of creative genius often happens. If you've got your pen, then just jot them down, write them down while it's in your mind. The biggest problem then is trying to figure out what you were thinking the next day when you're reading it, because very often you're going, what the hell does all that mean? But it doesn't matter. Just get used to that process, because sooner or later you're going to find that your subconscious or whatever it might be comes up with a little diamond of an idea. Okay, so you should have a pad that you dedicate to your writing and your ideas, and that is, I mean, if you go really old school, remember, I mean, I know these are really old comedians, but Bob Monkhouse and people like that, there was a big thing when he lost his book of jokes, didn't he? Because that's what he had. He'd had this book for 30 years, and it was an old book full of ideas and jokes and stuff that came to him in the middle of the night or on a train or whatever it was. That's how they used to do it. So get used to getting those ideas down. Then what you need to do is, if you can find other people who are creatives, and that's on things like shootingpeople.com. You can go to lots of different websites where there's networks and communities of performers and creative professionals. See if you can, team up with somebody who's like a camera person, or maybe they're somebody who's looking to produce new and exciting stuff or whatever. But just get yourself out there and in the industry and make some contacts with other people, because if there's a couple of you doing this, it's so much easier. One, for your motivation as well, because if you've said to somebody you've met on Shooting People, yeah, okay, so next Friday I'll have this bit done and then we can meet up and go and film something, then you're more likely to do it if you're anything like me, because there is that time frame to it. You've made a commitment to somebody. Sometimes if I do it for myself, it's very easy to go, oh, do you know what? I can leave that and I'll do that tomorrow because it's only me. So just sort of teaming up with some other people is a really, really good way to just keep the drive going, to keep that motivation going. So you're looking for something that there's a void in the television industry. Oh, there we go. Let me just admit some more people there. Sorry, I was distracted with what I was saying. Welcome if you just joined us. So look, you're looking for a void. What is there that isn't? It could be quite niche as well, quite specialist. If it is really specialist, then the next thing you're going to have to try and think about is, how do you actually bring that to a wider audience? What is going to make that appealing to a bigger, wider audience? Because of course, what is it that the big channels want? They want viewers. That's what it's all about, is having people watching their shows. So they want viewers for revenue, for adverts and stuff like that. The BBC, they have to justify the license fee. They want lots and lots and lots of viewers. And if it's too specialist and too niche without a big appeal, then it's unlikely to get the sort of audience that the big channels actually want. So try and make it more appealing for a larger population. What is it that, I mean, it's sex, drugs and rock and roll, isn't it? It's controversy is always a good one, all these sort of things. is what gets people watching stuff. But there has to be something different. There has to be a void for it. And really, it's your angle on it. What is your twist? How are you going to make it different? How are you going to make it your own? And that's why having that pad with ideas springing up in the middle of the night, sooner or later, is going to be, oh, right, that's different. Because that's when those ideas and that creativity can happen sometimes. Once you've done that, you've got then a couple of colleagues or friends or contacts who are interested in doing the same thing. That's when you need to write and actually film in some way a small pilot. It's almost like you're doing a little advert for the show. Rather, you're not actually filming the whole show. That's not what you're doing, but you're filming kind of like an advert for that show. So the best way to pitch to creative people in big TV channels is having it visual, just writing it down. I've just said write it down. You will have to have a format and write it down, but having it visual makes it so much easier that for people to imagine what it is, what your angle is, and how this thing might possibly look. So you will need to film some sort of pilot, I think, to get noticed and to pitch your ideas. Get that done. You can put the pilot. You could. The next thing is that I get asked all the time is, how do you stop these big TV channels from actually stealing your ideas and just going, oh, that's a good idea, we'll have that, thanks very much, and going off and making it, and you never hearing from them again? Well, we're going to talk about that very, very shortly. I'm just going to say cheerio to Facebook. If you're watching on Facebook, why aren't you in the members area? Come on. It's the last few weeks of it being totally free of charge for you to join. So go to tvtrainingacademy.com, join the members area, and we'll see you on the other side. Bye for now, Facebook. There we go. Trying to leave them on that dangling carrot as always. So yeah, how do you stop them from pinching your ideas and you not getting anything for it? It is difficult, but there are ways that you can give yourself some sort of protection here. Making a pilot, however loose it might be, and putting it on YouTube, as that shows the date that it's on YouTube. It's therefore by default already been made if you've actually formatted it in the way you envisaged the show to be. Anybody can see that it was put up there on the 4th or the 3rd of April 2001, because you can see when stuff is put up there. You can also write the treatment. So a treatment is in great detail, so approximate timing. So if it's half-hour show, the intro, what is the intro going to be? 30 seconds? Time it, have times all down the side of it. And then what's the first item and how does that first item work? Does it include guests? How long approximately will that item last for? A lead, is it in studio? Is it in location? Every single little detail, write it out in the treatment, okay? The old classic is, you then go to the post office, get it stamped on the back and time with a date stamp and send it to yourself. And then you have that. I mean, that's a really old way of doing it. You can get a solicitor to give it a stamp and sign it and date it. That probably cost you about 25 quid. Actually, it might be a bit more than that. I think it was 25 quid when I did it. But it's something like that. It's not going to break the bank to get a solicitor to give you a copyright or a date stamp on your treatment. So you've got your treatment. You've got a little video, probably a couple of minutes, overviewing the actual ideas that you've got for your pilot. You then need to get it in front of the right people. Now, this is almost easier if you've got a good idea. This is almost easier than actually just sending CVs and presenter show reels to people on the hope that they're looking for somebody. Because if you've got a good idea, the production companies and channels, they're begging for it. If you go to their websites for Channel 4, Channel 5 especially, they really are great channels who are willing to sort of experiment a bit. They usually put it on at midnight or something, but they are willing to experiment and put a bit of time and effort into something that they believe in. In fact, if you go to Channel 4, I think it's channel4.com/commissioning, there's loads of information there. There's loads of information. They're looking. There's other production companies. If you go to Gas Productions, GASS Productions .co.uk. If you go to megalomedia.com, painless.tv, these are production companies who actually have a page on their website saying, have you got any ideas? Send them to us. So these people are crying out for ideas, creativity, and something new, a special niche. This is a way of you bringing something to the table. The next thing is then that you clearly have to negotiate why you should be the presenter of this. So if you, at the creative stage, can think of something that you would be perfect for, or only you could do, then that's only going to help when it comes to you being part of the actual performance team. If it goes into the pilot seasons, that they make a good few pilots at the beginning of every year when the budgets come out and things like that. So really, the first start in this particular route is to start thinking out the box, to identify that void, to start thinking of how is it going to have a much bigger appeal to the population, because you need viewers. You could even base it on your YouTube channel. If you're picking up lots and lots of subscribers on social media on your YouTube channel, then is that an angle? What are you doing there? Is that working somehow? And don't just copy people, really just take a risk sometimes and do something different. If you think about some of the very famous people who have done, who we've all heard of, there's people like obviously Ricky Gervais. He held out with The Office. James Corden, I think, wrote the show that he was in. Charlie Brooker, he writes and delivers a very special and interesting format. There was Screen Wipes he originally hit Channel 4 with back in was it the 90s? It was a long time, in the noughties, it might have been. But so all these people that have quite famous, and I'm sure there's loads more of people who have done it as well, they wrote their own stuff and they ended up performing, presenting in their own stuff as well. So that's one way of approaching and getting onto the big TV channels and the big the big TV channels, big production companies, and what have you. The other way, we've spoken about some of these before. Again, it's always at the back of your head here. Be thinking, what are you bringing to the party? What are you bringing to the picnic? So, are you an expert in something? What is your expertise? So, one of our presenters that has come through the TV Training Academy, she's now working on lots of different channels. She's actually one of the presenters on our new station, River Radio, is Annabelle Knight. She became an expert in an interest that she had, which was relationships and sex expert between couples. Okay, it's quite a good niche. It's a little bit different. She's been on This Morning. She's been on Channel 4. She did a documentary on Channel 4. She Big Brother's bit on the side. She's done all sorts of stuff on TV. She's written columns in magazines and books and papers. She's written, by the way, written again. Get that creative process going, writing stuff. So what is your area of expertise? Annabelle, when she started going through this whole process, took herself back to college, took herself back and got some qualifications and exams in counseling, again, to give her even more credibility as an expert in her field. Again, as I said at the beginning here, there is no silver bullet. There's no shortcuts. It's hard work. It's getting your head down and studying, becoming an expert, or writing, becoming creative. But that is you sort of proving yourself, bringing something to the picnic, to the party, that people will go, there's value here. Again, a pretty face like mine who can present, not going to happen. Well, it might happen. I can't say it's not going to happen, but you could just as easily buy a lottery ticket and hold out for that. Okay. So, what are you bringing to the table when it comes to big TV channels? Expertise. How do you find your expertise? Well, then you've just got to look at what you are genuinely interested in, because you're going to spend a lot of time reading about it, talking about it. So if you are doing it because you just think, oh, that's a good thing, then everybody wants to know about how to make money, but you haven't got a passion in it, it's, I would say you're going to struggle, because you're going to have to spend so much time doing it when nobody's watching, when nobody's listening. And then if you're not passionate about it, you're just going to give up, because you just feel it's pointless. If you love it, if you're really interested and intrigued by it, you've got so much better idea. So write down all the things that you're really genuinely interested in, that you think, oh yeah, I wouldn't mind finding out more about that. It might be quantum physics. I don't know. It might be relationships. It might be flower arranging. Whatever it is, write that down and have a look, and then with that, that's the foundation of your creativity there. These are the subjects that I'm going to work on and think about. And then one night you wake up and it's like, oh, that flower arranging idea, flesh that out a bit. Or it might be another little idea you've had, flesh that out a bit and see which one develops and comes to fruition. But the first thing, the starting block, is to get that book and write down those, the 6 or 7 subject matters that could be your expertise or interest going forward. Okay. Um, what else do we do with that then? Again, when you are an expert, you can register as an expert on various channels and get your YouTube, using your social media, doing all of these things. And having a website as well is really important if you are going to be that expert. So put a website up there. It doesn't have to be like loads and loads of pages. It can be just a free Wix website, something like that. Couple of pages. If you want videos and all the flashy bits, you probably have to pay a monthly subscription. But get that website up there, so that when people search for you, there's something online, there's a presence. If they search for you because you've said you're a flower arranging expert and there is diddly squat online about you, then I start to doubt that you're telling me the truth. So get that website up there. Your LinkedIn channels, or LinkedIn is really important for performers now. If you haven't got LinkedIn, start it. Get it up there. Make sure your profile is looking professional. Just do a Google search, go to YouTube and find out how to make the perfect LinkedIn profile. There'll be loads of videos there telling you how to do that. But also on LinkedIn, you can put searches and automated searches where you will find production companies. And again, you don't need to just be looking in this country. Some of you might actually be from Australia if you've joined us here. I don't know. But if you are based in Britain, it doesn't have to just be here. Go abroad, look at what they're doing in other countries, because most of these channels, they do have English speaking sides, in the Middle East, in Europe, Turkey, all over the place, China, Russia. They all have English speaking sides. So those are potential targets for your ideas as well. Check them out. See if they've got a page on their website asking for ideas. There's probably, if you've never looked for it, there's more than you think out there who are going, you've got an idea for a TV show, send us it. There's a lot. It doesn't take much, just a Google search, and you'll see there's quite a few out there looking for stuff. So what have we said so far? We've said expertise, show ideas or content ideas. So it could be just an idea for a little item for the one show, or for, I don't know what other shows are out there, but have a look at the sort of magazine style shows. And if you think there's a little niche there for an item or a series of items, go for it. It's a good way to do it as well. And then there's the a bit of an old-fashioned way. So this is another sort of potential route into the big TV channels, is going along the production side. So getting a foot in the door. It's one of those things where you have to be very careful, I think, these days, especially if you are taking up an intern position or work experience place or anything like that. I know Helen Shepherd, who's the BAFTA winning director who works with us. She sort of says if somebody comes along on a work experience in production on one of her shows, or the directors and producers who she knows, and it turns out that they're actually really wanting to be a presenter and they've got no interest in being in production, they do get a bit annoyed with that, because you're taking away that opportunity from somebody whose dream may well to be working in production. So you do have to be careful if you're going to get a foot in the door that way. You have to almost, if an opportunity comes up or something happens, it's almost like you say, oh, well, I never thought of it really, but yeah, I'll give it a go. It's kind of like you've got to be really crafty if that's what you decide to do, and morally that's down to you to decide whether you would do that. But lots of people have done in the past. We've heard of people like Holly. Yeah, Holly Willoughby. She used to be production, didn't she? And she's doing rather nicely now. So it is possible, but just be careful is what I'm saying. What I would do if I was young enough and that was the route that I wanted to take, I would go and do, if I could get in the door, a couple of years in production, and I would use that to build contacts. Contacts are so important. I can't tell you. Just knowing the right person to send my idea off to, which might be 3 years later. I keep in touch with these people, with these contacts on LinkedIn, on Facebook, and all these things. It might be a couple of years later that I then have a pilot ready to go. And if I've got a contact, because I did a couple of years on the studio floor at Channel 5, and I know somebody, then that's rather good. I still know producers, editors, and directors from live TV that I did that, and that was back in 2006, I think. And I still know them. I can tell you who they are, and I can contact them if I had an idea. I would, if I wanted to go down that route. So contacts. So do a couple of years in production and just build up your address book of industry contacts. It's so important. So that's another way to get a foot in the door. Of course, another way to bring something to the table for the big TV and radio stations, let's not forget about the radio stations, is being a journalist. That's sort of another traditional way of approaching these big companies. Now, you can do a lot of journalism qualifications online these days. Now, Gemma is around somewhere. I think Gemma's done some of, where is Gemma? Oh, there she is, just popped up. Gemma, are you on live? Have you got your mic on? Yeah, doing the journalism route. If you're going to do it online, what are the basic qualifications? And then if you're going to continue with it a bit longer, what is it that you can actually achieve and get by just doing an online course?
Yeah, there is an online diploma. I'll pop the link in the chat, but you don't even have to do all the modules, just do a couple of the modules. So essential journalism and I would say media law are two of the most sort of critical ones, especially media law. If you're working for any of the big broadcasters, especially in factual or live TV, they want to know that you're safe to put on TV because there's a lot of things that you can't say. And I was talking to one of the producers. She was at Lorraine, she's now at Loose Women. And it was at a networking event. It was before COVID, and I got my showreel right in front of her, and she was quite impressed. But she said, "You know, you've got a little way to go before you're Lorraine." And I thought, well, that's good. You know, I'm on that track then, even if I've got a little way to go. But she said she particularly likes journalists because she said there's nothing like that journalist training and just knowing someone that has that solid background. Now that's coming from her. but another producer might want something totally different. But I'll pop the link in the chat there. But I would highly recommend anyone that's looking to go into mainstream TV, factual or live, to do the journalist course, just so that you have that solid background. And again, it just ticks another box when you're going up for these jobs or pitching.
Yeah, thanks, James. So James is going to put the link up in the chat there if you're interested in going down that route. So all of the methods or things that we're talking about today, you can see, and why I said right at the top there, it's not a quick way, it's not a quick fix. It's about commitment, it's about dedication, and it's hard work. If that's your target, the big mainstream TVs. Now we've spoke about getting yourself on there. Other ways, there's the reality TV side of stuff as well. Have no what's the word? Illusions about that's an easy way in. It really isn't. If you look at the people who've been successful going through the reality routes, it's taken them 10 years to get where they are before they even get the reality show where they find some notoriety. So even being chosen to go on a reality show can take years and years and years of making sure there is a defined brand. There is something that is interesting, different about you that they are going to want. And as reality goes on, and it's when it started out, I think there was a lot more opportunities in reality. Now, I think they are looking for, it's almost somebody, the extremes, aren't they? They're looking for somebody who's going to cause controversy or going to cause a stir or going to cause a sensation, or they're outrageous or whatever it is. You know, if that's you and that's what you want to do, that's fine. But don't think of it as an easy way. They advertise for all these reality programs on the site. So again, if it's, do they still do Big Brother? I think they do. Do they on Channel 5 or something? Have a look on Channel 5 Big Brother, and I'm sure it will be taking applications for the next season. It's as easy as that. But as I think I said last week, you have to, you know, a lot of people who came out of reality TV and who were successful on reality TV, they then came to TV Training Academy and trained with us before they then went onto the mainstream channels. So Josie Gibson, she came to TV Training office when it was over in Henley-on-Thames. I remember working with Josie. She's on, was she on this morning, is it now, doing stuff? I mean, it's great, good for her. But that's taken her 10 years before she got the job on This Morning. She wasn't just plucked from obscurity. She's been in the business, been working it. And that's the whole point with big shows, big channels. There's no shortcut unless you're one in a million. Okay, does that all make sense? Does it make sense what I'm saying? What I'm going to do, there's a couple of questions coming in on the side here. So who's this? Emily says it's about the circle. It's about making that contact and making sure that you're in that circle, making sure that you have contacts in that circle. You are building relationships. You're not, where are we?
Brian, The Circle is the new reality show that has kind of replaced Big Brother. So you're obviously not in the circle.
I'm not in the circle. No. There's a new reality called The Circle. Is that God? Do you know what? I really should watch TV once in a while. Do
you remember Jordan Lee, who's the presenter on Hits Radio, our friend? Well, The Circle was filmed in his apartment. Remember, he was raving on social media about it.
Okay.
Yeah, there we go.
Just throw that in there. But okay, so that wasn't really a question at all then, was it? It was about another reality show. But it's about making those contacts anyway. It's not about writing off and saying, oh, can I have a job as a presenter, please? It's about building a relationship, saying, this is what I do. This is my expertise. These are my ideas. I'm serious about this. I'm bringing something of value. I can be really quite an asset to your show, to your channel, to your production company. and this is what I'm bringing to it. Okay, so I am going to take some questions now, if you have any. So you can give me a wave. And actually, if anybody else has got anything commissioned before, or got actually something looked at and spoken about by the TV channels, share your story. Let us know how you did it, if you've actually had a bit of success somewhere along the lines. But anybody got a question for me, give us a wave and I will come around to you. Is that Ahmed? Are you waving at me, or are you just picking up your drink? He's picking up his drink. All right.
I was sort of on the phone, sorry about that.
That's all right, mate. No worries. Don't worry. Don't worry. Okay. So, any questions then? Where are we? Give us a wave if you have one. Wow, this is interesting. Oh, Ahmed, you have got a question. There you go, mate. Unmute yourself.
Yeah, so yeah, I was wondering, like, what kind of content should we actually like upload on YouTube if you want to go the presenter route?
So if the content you should be putting on YouTube is stuff that's going to reinforce your brand, reinforce the expertise perhaps that you're known for, or the style of presenting that you want to be known for. So it might be sports. If you're into sports, go and be putting up sports comment on matches, do a little PTC, piece to camera, outside a stadium as the people are leaving the stadium, give a match review. You know, all your stuff on your YouTube channel then starts to be centered around sports and sporty stuff. Then all of a sudden, if I start Googling you and I come across your YouTube channel, that's a real reinforcement of you are what you say you are. Oh yeah, Ahmed, he said he was really into sports and he's got an idea for a sports channel. Let's Google him. Oh, there's his YouTube channel. Oh, he is all about sports. There's 25 little videos up there about sporty stuff. Okay, so that's what you should be putting up content-wise on your social media and your YouTube channel, is stuff that reflects your brand and your ideas and expertise. Does that make sense, mate? Yeah? Cool. Good.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, nice one. So we've got some hands up there. Oh, there's Tiju. Hi, Tiju. How are you? Yes, giving us a wave. Unmute yourself. Oh, can't hear you.
Hi, yeah, I asked a question in the chat. It's about the journalism certificates. So is it best to do the NCJ, what is it on the website? Hold on. The NCTJ or the NUJ? So just...
Ooh, I think...
is any better?
I don't know, if I'm honest, which is the best one there. Does anybody know? Rani, do you know? You're waving. Rani, where's Rani? Can you unmute yourself? Nice to see you, by the way, Rani.
Nice to see you, Bran. Lovely to be.
Let me just introduce you to Rani. Rani actually works on Live 5 and Radio 4, and she's been doing lots and lots of stuff over the years for the BBC as a journalist. She's done a documentary on the Dalai Lama, which she wrote and was heavily involved in the production as well. So that's why when I saw you waving, Rani, I thought, oh, you probably know what the best one to do is. So I hope it's okay if I come to you.
Yeah, thank you. And I should pay tribute because Brian and Gemma are my friends and trainers in chief, and they taught me how to do live TV, and all your help, Brian and Gemma, is really helping in the 5 Live stuff I do regularly now.
Super.
And I'm really looking forward to River Radio too. Now, I'm an actor. I was a soap actor and a children's presenter on the telly, in mainstream telly, and I had to go. I wanted to be a journalist, so I I had to really prove myself from the ground up, and that's about getting those gigs, getting myself on air as much as possible. But in terms of the specific question from was it Tiju? I would go for the NTC. What was it? The one with 4 letters.
Yeah,
4 letters.
Yeah, and
if you can, but the
NCTJ, yeah.
NCTJ. But the NUJ does modules that you can pick up, and they also do legal ones, which is the one that Gemma was talking about. So that's got a prestige too. So you can pick those modules, or you could do a course equally well. And I did training through the BBC, and they gave freelancers some specific media law training, copyright training. But there's nothing like doing it. You know, you need to get those bylines, and you need to get yourself on air if radio or telly is your thing. And then that's what they're looking for. That's what they're looking for. That's what I look for as well in my interns.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rani. Thanks for your input there. That's really helpful. Yeah, is that helpful, Tiju?
Yes, definitely. Thank you.
Lovely. Thank you. Let's move along. We got Megan there. Megan, how you doing?
Hiya, thank you. No, I've been writing notes, so I was just writing everything up. So basically for me, I'm kind of just starting off. The next couple of weeks are really, really busy, like with podcasts, auditions, etc. Kind of my question is, right, I'm only 22, right? So I did reach out to like TV or like acting representatives, and they've all kind of come back and said because of my age, it would be worth me going to uni to do a degree instead. Is there any kind of take on that you guys would kind of recommend, anything? Or
well, I mean, I think a degree of any sort really gives you credibility when it comes for employers like the BBC or stuff like that. I think a media degree of some sort or something around that, but it's, you know, I sometimes wonder whether spending 3 years and I don't know how many thousands of pounds to pursue something that isn't necessarily what your passion is a sort of roundabout way of going there. Now, if they're saying that that's what they want or that's what they recommend, and that is the main target, that is the target you want to hit, then yes, okay. And it makes sense to do it. But if it's just one of a handful of different possibilities that you're looking at, I would think very hard about that. Do you want to spend the next 3 years and I don't know how many thousands of pounds doing something? You're better off doing something that you're dead passionate about, that you love, and becoming an expert in that, and then approaching as an expert the TV channels, I think.
Right. No, that's perfect. Thank you.
Okay, no worries. Nice to see you, Megan. Thank you. Let's move along. Now, you don't look like a Stephen, but Stephen's iPad. How you doing?
I'm on my dad's iPad, so no, my name's Molly.
Hi, Molly.
Hi, so I'm actually a beauty journalist. I currently work for Harrods and I present a monthly show for them. But I was just going to ask you, is it worth sort of picking all my best bits from my presenting that I've done with them and creating a reel and sending that out? Would that be something that I should look at doing? Because I've kind of got that experience and I've got all the lives that I've done are saved down and they're on the Harrods Beauty account. So I'm just thinking, is a reel something that would be worth looking into?
Absolutely. I mean, if you've got professionally filmed stuff to make a little demo reel, shows off your expertise, it's your brand, and it also shows that your style and confidence and the way you communicate on camera, you know, it's a great thing to have. 2 minutes, keep it all the best bits first, as we've we've spoken about show reels before. There are opportunities for people with that expertise to talk about products and things like QVC. I don't know if you've thought of that. Ideal world. It's you know, it's a nice way to get experience and pay some bills as well. But then getting onto the big mainstream channels with that particular expertise, I'm sure there must be shows that have that, but it wouldn't be something that I don't really watch TV anyway, so I probably wouldn't be watching those sort of shows. But I don't know, there may well be items on This Morning, or if there isn't, then that's where you then write down a list of all the things in beauty that you think have got an opportunity. How are you going to appeal to a wider public with those things? Have your pad by your bed, and then when you wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning with a brilliant idea, write it down and start developing channels on YouTube and stuff like that.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Nice to see you, Molly. Let's go along. It's Jen. How are you doing, Jen?
Good. I'm doing great, Brian.
Good. Nice to see you.
Yeah, nice to see you too. Yeah, I love these sessions. I'm just here in a week. Yeah, could you sum up what you said earlier about, I missed something about how to pitch to TV channels without them taking your ideas?
Okay, so yeah, so just to go cover that very quickly, then you need to have some sort of proof that you have already thought of that idea. So it's called a treatment that you can write, and that is with great detail, laying out the way that half-hour show, that 40-minute show, whatever it might be, would be, from the length of the intro, the location, the items involved, the amount of presenters, great detail, with a time. It doesn't have to be exact, but a rough sort of time count down the side. So you can have that treatment either stamped by a solicitor, who I think they do it for they probably do it for 45 quid now or something, I don't know, but it's just going into the office and having them stamp and sign that they've seen it, and this was a date that this document was created. Or you can make a little pilot version, and then put that on YouTube, because anything that goes up on YouTube, or any other platform for that matter, that has a date that it went up. So if you then are approaching companies and somebody steals it, you can always go, hold on a minute, look, this was put up last year, and I approached you, there's my email. And I think they'd have a bit of a hard time in a court of law. But it's just, unless you are willing to take them to court, it's it's almost, it's very difficult is the answer, because they have probably they know all the tricks. There's something about if you change, is it 7 or 8 sort of semi-major parts of the treatment, it's then considered in court to be a brand new piece of work or something. And I don't know how major those differences are. It might be going from the fact that your show had 3 presenters and their show had 2. That could be considered a major change. And then your show was 45 minutes in length and their show's 29 minutes in length. That could be considered. So there are ways they can get around it, but it just gives you something to fall back on. That's the thing. So the best probably thing is to get a treatment stamped by a solicitor.
Okay, thanks. I will look into that. Thanks,
Have you got
Brian.
an idea then, Jen?
Oh, just the odd, like, I don't know if it's in my niche yet, but it's like TV game shows.
Don't tell her. Look, all this lot. They'll have it. Don't tell us.
I
Get it written down.
feel like there's gaps in there, I'll just say. But yeah, there's
Yeah.
gaps in
Just keep developing
everywhere.
it. Yeah, never give up. Keep developing it.
One of the other tips,
Yeah.
Ria Hebden, she was on a webinar that we did last December. Unfortunately, we're not able to show the full session because it's limited edition, but we do have a 2-minute sizzle reel of the best bits in our members area. But she pitched her very first presenter role for ITV, and it was presenting at the MOBO Awards. So that just shows you how she got into the industry. But another tip that she gives is when you go and you meet commissioners and you arrange for meetings, so that could be another way, and it could be, do you fancy jumping on a Zoom call, or do you fancy meeting up for a coffee, when we are allowed, of course, but to take a friend with you as a witness and also moral support, because you don't know what's being said in that meeting. And again, it's just a way that a friend can act as your witness, so that everything you're telling them is yours.
Ah, that's a really good idea, actually, Gemma. Yeah,
Thanks.
thanks.
They might, because there's, the situations that we're in at the moment, a lot of the commissioners, they might have time to jump on a Zoom call for 10 minutes. If you give them that treatment or give them something that they're interested in, they might jump on a Zoom call for 10 minutes to have a chat, or even just to say, this is good, but you need to develop it, or this is what we're looking for. Or
Okay, yeah, I'll look into that as well.
I mean, thanks, Jen. Nice to see you. I mean, it's important as well to do your research on the channels that you're pitching to. If you're pitching to a channel, make sure they've got similar sort of content, because you know that's the sort of stuff that they're looking for and that they're interested in. So do research on the channels, on the production companies, to make sure. There's no point. if your idea is a sports idea, to going to a show that is always making new content or current affairs. So just check them out, do some research. Let's move on. Cheryl, how are you? Cheryl, nice to see you.
Hi, I'm great, thank you.
Yeah,
Just a
good.
really quick one, actually. You answered part of it about the treatment, so thank you about that. But the other thing was, you mentioned a few companies. So for like the channel4.com/commissioning, I think you said Gas Productions.
Yeah.
Was it Megalo TV was the other one or something?
Megalo TV. So MEGALO Media, MEDIA.com. But
Megalo
you know, those are just a few of the old ones that I sort of remember, and just did a quick Google search. They're still up there. There'll be lots more. So just search Google for them.
Brilliant. That's great. Is there anywhere online that I can go to have a look to get an example of a treatment, or what needs to go into a treatment, if you see what I mean? Or is it just a case of a treatment is you put how long the show is, what it's pitched at? I've never heard the term treatment before today, to be honest. So I'm a bit sort of like mind blown now. What do I do with this?
Yeah, you know, there's a number of different ways of doing it. But again, it's to keep it as clear as possible of what it is. Now, a really detailed treatment would go into the target audience, the demographic, the time, the channel, the ideal, all the background, the justification of why there's an audience for this sort of thing, blah 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 blah. But to start you off, I would possibly just sort of give a little overview of the concept. So, a shopping channel which crosses the genre boundaries by introducing a Top Gear feel to the. I don't know what I've just made. But you know what? I just made that up. How about it? Top Gear shopping channel driving. That would work, wouldn't it?
While you're also doing your Tesco shop, yeah. Okay, so it can be a fairly sort of generalized overview, or do you think you need to make it quite specific?
I would start off with just a sort of a generalized overview. Again, keep it quite short, because when you initially approach them, you're just trying to catch their interest. If they want more, that's when you can fill it out. So a really brief overview, tantalizing them, and then the structure of the show as you see it. A lot of people, because I've had people come to me before, sort of being around, sort of say, "Oh, I've got this great idea for a show. Can I give it to you and let you see it?" And I said, "Yeah, sure you can." And they will literally give me a half piece of paper that says, a new shopping channel that is a little bit like Top Gear, but where we're selling stuff on the move. And I'm like, that's not a treatment. That's an idea. That's an idea. As a producer, as an executive, as a commissioning editor, I don't want an idea. I want, there's a show. That's how
a fully,
I've done the hard work. That's what it is. There's the end product. What do you think? And they might then go, "Oh yeah, I like that. I would change this." Inevitably, they will change something, but just to throw an idea out, everybody's got ideas, but actually putting it out, laying it out
in a structured way. Yeah,
the whole thing's going to run. You've thought about it. You've gone through it. And there's a reason why stuff is the way it is as well. There's not just all just thrown together. It's it's a logical sort of reason that it flows in that way.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Brian.
You're
Appreciate
welcome.
it.
Nice to see you, Cheryl.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.
Have a look on the commissioner's website. So every channel will have a commissioner, and they'll have commissioners for different genres. So they'll have one for factual, they'll have one for children's and whatever, and they'll actually tell you on there what they will look for in a treatment, because every commissioner will be different. So it's worth just checking out those channels.
That's brilliant. Thank you. Cheers, Gemma.
Yeah, it's a good idea. Thanks, Gems. Gems, did we have any? Can we have a little sneaky
I
look?
I was going to say, before anybody tells us that it's rubbish and it's worth nothing, do you want a sneaky preview? Who wants a sneaky preview of the new website? Okay, right. I'm going to share my screen. There we go. So this is, can everyone see that? Can everyone see that? This is our new presenter members area. So at the moment, if you're logged into the old website, you get access to all the past webinars that we've done. And this is the new one. So I've tried to make it as easy as possible working with the developers. So often people will email us and say, oh, I can't find the latest session. So as soon as you log in, if you're a member and you go to the video vault, it comes up the last 4 sessions. Now they've made a little bit of a mistake, the website people, and I have given them into trouble. They've not actually put the last 4 ones up. They've modeled them up, so they have got to change this. But this is Riyadh, so this is the one, the highlights that I was talking to you about, the 2-minute one that we've got with Ria. If you scroll down, we've got the ones that we sort of highly recommended. So I add ones that I think are really good on there. Like all our sessions are really good, but if there's ones I particularly think are really good, ones especially if people are starting out, I get a lot of people that'll email and they'll just say, how do I get into TV presenting? And of course, we all know now, having done these sessions for a year, it's a really long question because it depends on your branding and what style of show you're going to go on and your backgrounds and things like that. So what I'll do is I'll have one that will be for people that are just starting out, and it will be that highly recommended ones. Meet the experts, so any of the ones that we've got are guests. So you've got Michael Watkins, you've got Sam Sethi, who did one about podcasting, you've got Agent Karen there, you've got the one that we did with Rachel, which was all about your branding. We've got Helen Shepherd there. Who else have we got? Another one with Karen. Oh, there's me there talking about radio. Another one with Michael. We've got one about Sarah. Sarah did one about clothes styling, how to stand out. We've got Annabelle Knight there. So that's the ones that we've got with our experts. And we've got all the master classes there as well. So there's one on radio, just starting out and presenting. There's one that we did about goal setting, what should be on everyone's show reel. So there you go. And there's the sort of questions and answering sessions. So that's the, as we've called it, the video vault area. But if I go back, let's go back to my account. Hope this works. It's a little bit slow. Let me just move that. Yeah, so it tells me here all the courses. Now we've not had a chance to launch all of our courses yet. These are the courses that we're going to be launching this year, all online. At the moment, all we've got is our TV presenting one. So if you're already in the diploma one, you'll automatically get a new login that will transfer you, and it's all automated. How awesome is this? So this is our TV presenting course, and it has got, how many modules is it? 14 modules that it's got. So about 3D communication, so it teaches you the background about 3D communication. You've got videos from Brian and Helen. We've got one about performance of a presenter. So if I want to actually go into that module here, if I enter here, it gives you all the written material that you need to know. And if I scroll down there, you've got all the audio and you've got all the videos there. Oh, there's Helen. And this is the best bit. So if you are on the current diploma, you have to email us your assignments, but this is magic. This here is all the questions and they're completely automated. So I'm just going to click through, I've got no idea. I'm not even reading this, so please don't judge me because I wrote half of these questions. So if I get them wrong, but I'm just clicking through so you can see, you can take the quiz as many times as you like. So if you get it wrong, you can go back and it tells you all the wrong results. You can go back again. Oh, really poor. 3 out of 14.
3 out of 14, Gems. What were you thinking?
Here we go. And it tells you all the questions that you got wrong there, so I can go back. And then if I decide that I want to restart the quiz again and go again, that, you know, I can do it again. And then for your practical, you just upload. Oh, you just upload your file. So I think it's pretty awesome, and it's been a year in the making, this, and it's been incredibly stressful, hasn't Brian?
Yeah. Are we going to have like a forum as well, so people can chat to each other?
Yeah. So
the blog forum thing.
Let's have a look. I don't know. Let's have a look. So let's have a look in.
But anyway, that's fine. I think we get the idea.
Yeah, there is a forum, and also there is. Let's have a look. See if I can get in. I think you have to. Yeah, there is a forum. Obviously, it's looking a little bit bare at the moment because we can't transfer everything from the old.
Yeah.
Site. But if you are currently a member of our old website, or if you are currently a member of the diploma, you will automatically get transferred. Let me just see how I can. So this is the sort of home page. Let's see. Sorry, my internet is really quite slow. There we go. So you've got the video vault, you've got a presenter forum, you've got events, so you'll be able to see what events that we've got coming up, but also I'll be putting industry events up on there. I'll be putting any jobs that we get. So at the moment, what we do is we pop them out to our email list, but I'll be popping any jobs that producers get in touch with us, or sometimes Agent Karen looks for people quite specific. I'll be putting any jobs that we get up there. And there's also an advanced career section in there that's going to have all the different links and resources and stuff in there to help advance your career. So yeah, it's very exciting. So
super. Thanks, Gems. Yeah, nice one. So what we'll do, guys, is when that website is done, if you send me that email, let me know your thoughts. Yeah, I think hopefully you can see there's a value there. That's super. Have we got any more questions before we look at the time? It's 15:15 already. My goodness. Any more?
A question from Vanessa earlier, who was asking, she's a big fan of The Circle. I think she's been looking to get into that, asking about reality TV, which we kind of covered last week, but maybe we should just briefly cover that again, about getting into reality TV. Again, it's not easy getting into reality TV. They like to look for people that are going to give them a story. You know, if you look at Love Island and things like that, they want people talking about their show. So don't necessarily think that going into reality TV is going to make you a star, because there are lots of people that get into reality TV and they have their 5 minutes of fame and then you never hear of them again. Granted, there are some really good ones, like Mark Wright, you know, he's doing really well in America and Heart and things like that, but they have had to work at their craft in presenting. And also just be careful with these reality TVs. I personally wouldn't want to go into them because I don't think it would be very healthy for my mind, my mental health. But have a look at the criteria. A lot of the time they will look for large followings, because what they want you to do is to bring your following to their channel. Love Island, it was always 10,000 people that they were looking for. And a lot of the people that were already, you know, that were contestants on Love Island were actually already doing a lot of stuff. They were modeling, or they had a business, or they were YouTube vloggers. So often, yeah, there is a criteria for reality TV as well.
Mm-hmm. Super. All right, thanks, Gems. Well, I think that's just about it from us today. So once again, thanks, guys. It's lovely to see so many of you joining us here on our little webinar. I'll be back next Saturday, same time, 10 o'clock, same place. Don't know what I'm going to do with my hair yet, but we'll see. You know where we are at the moment. It's tvtrainingacademy.com, but then we're going over to presenteracademy.com very, very shortly. Have a lovely Easter or whatever you might be celebrating over the next few days. Do take care, Much love.